Miss Nelson?
Well, when the headhunter wants to talk to you, how do you say no?
I need to talk to you about my case.
You decapitated a girl. You hit her head, and then you confessed. So unless you want to tell me where you put the head, I don't know what else there is to say.
I never killed that girl.
Right. Then confessing probably wasn't a good idea.
There's more to it.
Look, if you want to appeal your case, you should call your lawyer.
I think you're the only one who might be able to handle this now.
I'm not a cop anymore.
I know. I saw your ad in the newspaper. No case too strange. It's funny how things fall into place.
I'll be a minute. Funny's not exactly the word I'd use.
I'm psychic.
I'm lactose intolerant.
Listen, I confessed because I wasn't able to tell the difference between my own thoughts and my visions. I saw her get killed, but I wasn't there. It wasn't me. I know that now.
How can you be so sure?
The voice in my head. It stopped when I went to jail. A few days ago, it came back. But this time, I know it's not mine.
Inner voices have never been my specialty.
Listen, you don't understand. The killer is gonna strike again. He's already picked his next victim. You don't understand. The killer is gonna strike again. He's already picked his next victim.
Who is she?
I don't know. She'll be pretty. She'll be young. It hasn't happened yet. I can't see it. I can only feel.
Boy, Perkins knew who to pick, didn't he?
He's talking about a murder, Mike. You gonna ignore that?
No, it's the psychic ramblings of a convicted killer that I'm going to ignore.
Whoever he is, he says there's going to be another murder.
No, actually, that one falls under homicides that haven't happened yet. The pre-crime division's down the hall if you're interested.
No, he was saying that the place was familiar, but that he couldn't recognize it. Maybe it's something from the first case.
Vicky, for all we know, he could be orchestrating this whole thing from the inside to make himself look innocent. You know, working with someone on the outside to create some kind of copycat killer situation.
Look, I still have all my notes. You could pull the files. I mean, we know this thing by heart.
Vicky, no. We're not going to start opening up every case we've ever solved trying to pin it on the boogeyman.
The boogeyman? This isn't his M.O. Listen, I seem to know a certain homicide detective who's had several run-ins with the boogeyman lately.
All right. I accept it when it's the truth. You're starting to make it your default explanation for every case that comes your way. Big difference.
No. Look, Sherlock Holmes, when you eliminate all other possibilities, whatever remains, however improbable, is probably the answer.
Okay, how about Occam's razor? The simplest solution tends to be the right one. It's a copycat killer.
Well, whether this is a copycat killer, or he's orchestrating it from prison, or he's psychic, if another girl dies, don't come crying to me.
The suspect pulls a saw from his ulcer?
What? A gun. He pulled a gun from his jacket. How is it that you can perform arcane rituals in dead languages and you can't read my handwriting?
Well, the lost language of Beothuk has nothing on your penmanship.
Still no answer.
He's probably at work.
Yeah, either that or he's making a run for the border.
Vicky, we have an empty black van and a license plate.
No, we have a very roomy black van parked 200 meters from a body dump. I mean, he's got to know something. I mean, he could even be our guy.
Another one of your hunches, huh?
Yeah. Why don't we just swing by his house, have a look around? I mean, if he took her head, maybe he's got it there, some kind of trophy.
No judge is going to give us a search warrant based on what we've got.
Where's your sense of adventure?
You know, it's funny that you mentioned that word because I've been getting all the adventure I can handle lately.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Do you want me to back off?
Oh, no.
Detective Salucci, Detective Nelson.
Yeah, what can we do for you?
My name's Charles Perkins. You left me a few messages.
Yeah, your vehicle was seen near the scene of crime.
It was?
Tuesday afternoon, Rosedale Valley Road. You were parked there. How come?
I was there.
Answer the question, Mr. Perkins. What were you doing?
That girl. She was decapitated
Everyone knows that.
with a sickle. I'm the one you're looking for. I killed that girl.
Have you had any dizzy spells lately?
Dizzy? No.
What about migraines or vertigo?
No and no.
What about you? Any weird dreams, hallucinations, a pervasive sense of dread?
Nothing more than usual.
What about your marks? Have they flared up at all?
You know what? I think you guys have a lot to catch up on.
Yeah, no burning marks. Oh, but a couple days ago, my head did spin around. I spoke in tongues, and I puked up something that looked like pea soup. There's nothing wrong.
But you'll tell me if there is.
Everything's fine, Henry. Everything's gonna be okay.
You can't say that. The ritual you performed was dangerous.
Henry, I don't know what you want me to tell you. All right, I checked, but Hallmark doesn't make a sorry I stabbed you in the gut, drank your vampire blood, and performed a dark magic ritual card. Okay, but I appreciate your concern.
Trust me, my concern is purely selfish.
Great. All right, well, if you have to be here and do the demon watch thing, then could you at least make yourself useful? 4 years ago, Charles Perkins confessed to a murder, and this morning, he tried to take it back. He says that he confused his psychic visions with reality and convinced himself that he committed the murder.
Convenient.
Yeah, well, he claims that the real killer's gonna strike again. And he knows where the body's gonna be found and that the place looks familiar, but he can't quite put a finger on it.
There's several references in his testimony about dreams of a wooded area near the bridle path. You coming with me?
The victim was found unclothed with no ID.
Want to make sure that the backwoods are completely cordoned off. I don't want the press sneaking in on me, okay? Just give me a minute.
We gotta stop meeting like this.
I don't believe you're here.
Wanna touch me? See what I just did there? Because you don't believe, but you...
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. So, is it exactly like I said?
This is a closed crime scene. Nobody's getting through.
Okay. I just want to know if there's a decapitated girl down there. I mean, that's all I'm asking.
You know what's sad, Vic?
The ending of Old Yeller?
Sadder.
No, there's nothing sadder than the ending of Old Yeller.
That you think you can always just stroll in and get whatever it is you want. But you know what? Not this time. There are enough differences for me to believe that the copycat theory is valid. Stay on your side of the police state.
It's a girl.
Is she,
Very. Whoever did it took a souvenir.
Thank you for sparing me another Anne Boleyn reference.
Thank you. Since the news of the murder, I've been inundated with calls from anxious parents of every runaway and missing kid in the city.
You have any idea?
There's no head for dental records, and her fingerprints aren't in the system. It's going to be tough.
Neither Jane Doe.
I'm afraid so.
Do you think this could be the same killer?
I'm still trying to sort that out. Other than a series of hesitation marks on the first body, the similarities are striking.
Similarities, you say? Striking, you say? As though committed by the same killer.
You know what? It's not a nail in the coffin.
There are two murders, virtually identical.
Vicky, it was a high-profile case. Okay, everybody knows that the crime scene photos made their way onto the net. Okay, this is a copycat, plain and simple.
Sure, or a killer who's had 4 years to hone his skills.
Oh, would you just
That's
stop
it.
It's...
Stop.
Why do you?
If you two have something to work out, I'd prefer it if you went elsewhere.
I saw her walking down the street, and I pulled up beside her. We talked for a minute, and...
Then I asked her if she wanted to come to my house to talk some more. She said no. So I took her.
Had you ever seen her before? Gonna need you to answer out loud, please.
No. No, I'd never seen her.
What'd you do after you took her?
Drove to the park. We sat in the back of a van for a little while. And then something told me to slit her throat.
Something?
Someone?
What, like, voice in your head?
Yes. It's exactly.
We need to take a little break. We'll be right back. He's confessing willingly. Why are you leading him to an insanity defense?
What? I'm not leading him anywhere. He's just a little sketchy on some of the details. Plus, there's no physical evidence. There's no blood in the van.
Yeah, but it's normal to have some inconsistencies. We do have him dead to rights on some of the key issues. I mean, his car was at the scene. He knows the type of weapon that was used.
Okay, what if his memories are false? Okay, people do that all the time for notoriety, for fame, for repressed guilt, whatever.
True enough.
Right?
Right.
See, this is what makes us a good team. Am I wrong here?
No, you're not wrong. Okay, we should head back in there, sort this out.
All right.
All right.
I thought you said he confessed willful.
He did. I mean, there were some inconsistencies with his story, but the DA felt we had enough for a case.
Which you supported.
He wasn't insane. That's what you're getting at.
Once again, working with a famed Vicky Nelson hunch theory.
All right, so you think he was guilty and that this is a copycat killer?
I think we need to find out.
There's an idea.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for your time. Warden says Perkins has only had one visitor in the 4 years he's been in prison.
Mom?
No, brother, 3 years ago.
Not a single soul in 3 years?
No phone calls, no emails, nothing.
I don't buy it. I mean, no one goes to prison and gets left alone. Maybe an ex-cellmate helping him on the outside? Setting up the copycat?
No, he's never had any friends. Keeps completely to himself. Guy's practically a leper.
Well, I'd be impressed if Charles and his brother waited this long to carry out the copycat.
Nothing throws off suspicion more than patience. What do you say we go have a talk with the brother?
She was decapitated, wasn't she? You have no idea what it's like to be cursed with something like this.
Police aren't buying your story, Charles. They think you're working with a copycat killer.
But you told them they're wrong.
My only interest is in finding and stopping whoever is committing these murders.
Closed hospital with a janitorial staff.
Government bureaucracy at its finest.
Well, it does look clean.
You're telling me.
This must be the best janitorial job around.
Yes, well, it keeps me busy.
Kelly Perkins, do you remember me?
Oh, I thought you looked familiar. Detective Salucci, am I right?
That's right.
But I see you have a new partner.
Detective Lamb, we'd like to ask you a few questions.
By all means.
Where were you on Thursday night?
Thursday's my book club. Yeah, we were discussing Finnegan's Wake. I hated it. So random and chaotic.
Well, not everything needs to make sense now, does it?
No? Is everything okay?
There's been another murder. Looks a lot like Charles's work.
We think it's the work of a copycat killer. We think Charles might be working with somebody on the outside to make him look innocent.
Well, that's possible, but I can't think of anyone who would do such a horrible thing.
But you visited him in prison.
Just once. It's amazing how far apart two brothers can grow.
What was Charles like as a kid?
Well, he was always the rational one, I suppose. He could always find the balance in every situation. You know, except with Mother.
Ah, she's a doctor, right?
Psychiatrist. You know what they say? Shoemakers' children often go barefoot. Everything we did was over-intellectualized and analyzed to death. But as far as I'm concerned, the past is the past. You know, Charles never agreed.
Do you still talk with your mother?
Well, I don't hold anything against her. But I certainly don't go out of my way to see her.
You think your mother would talk to us about Charles?
You know, you'd have to talk to her.
I might do that. Thanks for your time.
I told you I never killed that girl. You believe me?
Why'd you call me anyway?
Because you were the only one who didn't think I was crazy.
It's not good enough, Charles. I need more to go on.
I told you, I don't...
Charles? Guard? Guard! Charles?
Salucci, he's on the right track.
Salucci's on the right track. What the hell does that mean?
Maybe Detective Salucci is going to identify the killer.
Yeah, or maybe there is a copycat killer.
Would that be so horrible if Detective Salucci was right?
Okay, you know what? I get it. You're mad at me.
I wouldn't say mad. Appalled, offended, indignant.
Could you at least feign interest then? Henry, please, focus.
I am focused. Everything else is just noise.
You know what? I like noise.
And I'm more interested in results. We need to find out what Detective Salucci has learned.
Well, that might be difficult. He's not exactly talking to me lately.
Why don't I try him?
Yeah, if he's cutting me out, he's not going to talk to you.
Don't be so sure about that.
Yeah, because the two of you have always been so tight.
We seem to have more in common with each passing day.
Yeah, that's just great, Henry.
Rebecca Perkins, doctor of psychiatry. She worked on several high-profile cases for the department back in the 80s.
Yeah, and she's got a record. She used to pilfer supplies from the medicine chest.
Physician, heal thyself. How long was she in jail for?
No, she was out before the ink dried on her fingerprints. Pled out to probation and loss of license. You know, God forbid somebody in this country should actually serve time for their crimes.
It would be a black eye for any prosecutor who won a case using her as an expert witness.
Where's she now?
Forest Hill Village. Runs a small alternative counseling clinic out of her house. How's that possible?
Well, you don't need a license to tell somebody why Daddy doesn't love them anymore. Well, I hope her morning is clear. I suggest we pay her a visit tomorrow.
Meet here, pick me up.
No, I'll grab you.
Ooh, promises, promises. Night.
Night, Kate. How long have you been lurking in the shadows?
Long enough to see the Salucci magic in action.
Is there a point to this visit?
Well, I come bearing gifts. Charles Perkins.
No, thanks. I already have one.
Vicky saw him today in the prison. Perkins says you're on the right track.
All right, correct me if I'm wrong, but if somebody who's not psych predicts the future, that's generally called a guess. Am I right?
What is it? This track that you're on.
You know what? You're unbelievable. I'm not going to tell you that. That's privileged information.
Stop. Detective Salucci, I asked you a question.
Hello? Mrs. Perkins?
There's nobody here.
Huh, lights are out.
Curious?
You should not have vamped Mike for this information.
Then I guess you don't want to know what Mike said about you.
What did he say about me?
Detective Salucci will only remember my visit as a vague dream.
No, that doesn't make it right.
You expect me to believe you'd rather not have the advantage?
It's Kelly, age 10, Charles, 8, Sydney, 6.
Who's Sydney?
He's the youngest brother. It's Charles at 15, Kelly at 17. Sydney at 13?
Sydney's a big boy.
Yeah, no kidding. Somebody ate their Wheaties. Well, hello, Dr. Freud. You know, Rebecca Perkins lost her license years ago. She's clearly been practicing on a more grassroots level. Sydney Perkins. Subject Sydney is developing a resistance to the cocaine and ketamine mixture.
Subject Kelly's isolation coupled with progesterone has resulted in...
Progesterone? That's a chemical castrator used on sex offenders. Subject Charles is showing moderate improvement after switching him to a Pinodol-based antidepressant.
What is she doing here?
She's torturing her own children. I thought you said no one was here.
Nobody with a heartbeat.
Mrs. Perkins?
Definitely dead.
Hey.
Up until the moment you called, I've been trying to figure out how I could have a dream about Henry Fitzroy that didn't involve a mallet and a stake.
Would you care to have a seat and we can discuss your dream?
He used one of his mind tricks on me to get this address, didn't he?
You'd have to ask Henry about that.
He's your vampire.
No. He is not my vampire. And besides, I honestly don't know what he did.
But you could have guessed.
Look, Mike, you remember Sidney Perkins, the special needs son? I think he's involved in the murder. So can we argue about what Henry did or didn't do after you put an APB out on Sidney?
There's not going to be an after. Officer!
Mike!
Would you escort this woman off my crime scene? If she gives you any grief, just arrest her.
Are you kidding me? Hey.
That was awesome. You and Mike should fight more often because I love the undercover work.
Did you find anything out about that body in Rebecca Perkins' house?
You mean bodies? The body was Rebecca's. The head belonged to someone else. Dr. Mahadavan has ID'd her as Allison Cohen. She's definitely the first victim, DNA match. That should give the parents some kind of closure.
Right, but can we find any link between her and the Perkins boys?
Well, 4 years ago, Allison Cohen lived on Carlton. Weren't the brothers still living with Mommy Dearest?
Yeah, maybe the connection goes back farther than that. Do you have her parents' address? You know, maybe if she's still on the missing persons list, then maybe the family still lives at the same address.
769 Dunvegan Road.
Right, well, the Perkins lived on Heath.
Same area.
So maybe they went to the same school?
Allison Cohen was registered at Sir Wilfrid Laurier Elementary School. So was Sydney. Look at those grades. He wasn't the smartest one in the family, was he?
He wasn't supposed to be.
What do you mean?
These are the good doctor's journals. 4 years ago, she came off like an overprotective mother. She was actually trying to protect the integrity of her experiments.
Her experiments?
Yeah, she was trying to isolate the three sections of the personality, the ego, the superego, and the id. She was using her own kids as lab rats.
But why?
She wanted to find a way to control childhood aggression. Thought if she could isolate the id, she could stunt its development.
So that means she created our killer?
Yeah, and that means that Charles Perkins is innocent.
I can sense you're angry. Something's happened, something about the case.
Perceptive, hardly psychic. What do you know about Freud's structural theory of the psyche?
What does that have to do with anything?
Just go with me here for a minute. Because you see, Freud believed that the psyche was divided into three sections. The ego, which was the emotional center, the superego, social morality, and id, unconscious desire.
So?
I know about your mother's little experiment. You were supposed to be ego, right? Kelly was superego and Sydney was id.
What she did to Kelly and I was bad enough. But Sydney, I can still hear him screaming at night.
That's because you can hear him screaming at night. I think your mother's experiment did something to you and your brothers. I think she accidentally created a psychic link between you, Sydney, and Kelly.
Look, we may be screwed up, but we're not killers.
That random victim 4 years ago, Allison Cohen, she went to school with Sydney. I think Sydney killed her and you watched the whole thing through his eyes.
You're wrong.
Your mother reduced Sydney's brain to pure appetites and urges. Allison went to school with him. Maybe he saw her.
No!
Sydney is gonna keep killing unless you help me stop him.
I won't trade my freedom for my brothers.
Then you're as guilty as he is. There must be a common thread among Sydney's victims. If we can find that, we can find Sydney.
But if he turned into some kind of id monster, there won't be any pattern.
Killing the mother, I can understand. I mean, after everything she did, I'd almost condone it.
How can you think about this stuff all the time?
Practice. You know what, go home. Get some sleep. And at least one of us will be coherent tomorrow.
Why does motivation matter? They're already dead.
You know what? Your Batman routine's getting a little tired. We need to know why Sydney killed, because then maybe we have a chance of figuring out who his next target is.
If Charles Perkins is 1/3 of a whole person and another third committed the murder, then he's guilty. Case closed.
Geez, you know, I wish it were that simple, but we have procedure for a reason.
This coming from the woman who stole my blood for a magic ritual.
Finally. Okay, you want to talk about this? Great. I was trying to save your life.
I'd rather be dead than see you seduced by dark magic.
Oh, I get it. You're trying to protect me from myself?
No. You're the only one who can do that. I vowed to protect you from evil. I can't protect you from yourself. Good night, Kareem.
I stayed. I thought you might want to talk.
Thanks. Thanks. Because you know what? We really need to find Sydney Perkins.
I could hack into the phone company records, see if he's been in contact with Kelly.
Yeah, except I don't think he needs a telephone to talk to Kelly.
What are you looking for?
Confession. Here we go.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's fine, Charles. You did well.
Yeah, I think it's missing something. A motive. Still haven't told us why you killed her, Charles.
Just 'cause.
Just 'cause. You can't even look me in the eye and you expect me to believe you had the balls to do that. I think he's making it up.
Who killed her, Charles?
I did.
Why?
Because I wanted to! She created awful urges in me. They had to stop.
Looks like he has some issues.
I think these boys have a lot of issues. Here's one talking about his urges, right? And then here's another judging him for it. Sidney Perkins didn't act alone.
All right, if he does make contact with you, I want to make sure that you call me right away. Excuse me. I'll be right back. No, I don't want to hear it. Not
Mike,
today.
I gotta talk to you about Sidney Perkins.
No.
Do you have news about my brother?
Kelly?
Miss Nelson. It's been a long time.
Sure has.
Hey, I'm kicking you out, remember?
What is he doing here?
We hit pay dirt at the shrink's house. We got the murder weapon, we got fingerprints. Now all we have to do is find Sidney.
No, Sidney's not the killer. He sort of is the killer, but so is Kelly. The two of them are involved. They've been in contact.
What, with his own psychic powers?
It's more complicated than that.
Oh, of course it is.
Mike, their psycho shrink mother did experiments on them.
So what is it? It's mad science now?
No, we're talking that somehow these guys have ended up with some symbiotic psychic link, all right? Kelly is involved.
I have vetted his alibi. He's in the clear, okay? Drop it.
You realize you're trespassing?
Stay back, Kelly.
Kelly, I'm Sidney. Now let's kill her. Not yet. We need to find out what she knows first. I apologize for my brother. He's a little rude.
Well, you could always make it up to me by letting me go.
No. See, that's not going to be possible.
So, how'd you kill that big old brother of yours, huh? Clearly not brute strength.
Oh, look at you trying to goad me into making a mistake. Nice try. But I have no ego to bruise. Yet. See, Sidney's not dead. He's in here with me now.
I'll get on with it! Don't interrupt me!
See, we can't be 3. We can't be 2. We need to be 1. Reintegration is the only way.
That's why you started killing again then, right? So you could cast doubt on your brother's conviction? Get him released so you could reintegrate him.
Exactly.
Guess he didn't count on being caught.
Now, who says you caught us?
Do something, Sydney!
He confessed. It's good work.
What was that about, keeping things out of the workplace?
See, that's why we need to take this paperwork home. Finish it there.
Does that mean I'm gonna have to close the case every time I want to?
No. You gotta admit, it doesn't hurt.
Still, there's just something about this case, you know?
Yeah, it's okay. My hunch paid off. We got the right guy.
Ah, you see, you smile now. But 4 years from now, killer's gonna have you dead to rights. You're gonna be all alone in that asylum. This is it. Your hunches are finally gonna get you killed.
No, my hunches are what keep me alive.
You never would listen. You always had to do it your own way.
Yeah. Because you were always there to pull me back.
I'm not here now. Not feeling well?
Someone took a round at me.
Poor baby. Vicki Nelson came to see me. Told me quite a story about you.
Can't make you believe anything you don't want.
You're not psychic, Charles. Using the copycat killer as an excuse to get out of prison or using Vicki to obfuscate the investigation. I mean, come on, admit it.
I won't lie to make you happy.
People are dead, and all you care about is yourself.
I'm in prison because of a murder someone else committed. Because I thought I was guilty. Sydney's gonna kill again. I can feel it.
Really? And when would that be?
Very soon. Kelly's with him. So is
So is who?
Miss Nelson.
Vicki.
Can you afford not to believe me?
Detective Salucci.
Vicki may be in danger.
I'd be more surprised if she wasn't.
I'm an hour and a half outside of the city. Are you going to help or not?
Where is she?
Try the Riverview Institute for Children. 450 Carswell. Kelly Perkins is the resident caretaker.
I never realized until now, Detective, but we have something in common. She drives us both insane.
Consistently. One more thing, Fitzroy. Don't ever try to get in my head again.
Trust me, Detective. That's the last place I'd want to be.
You better get on your psychic friend hotline and buy her some time.
You shutting me out?
No, for You're linked to your brothers, right? It's what you feel, they feel, right? And vice versa?
Stay out of this, Charles. Harder! Harder! Sydney! Tell him! Vicky!
See, I told you I could do this myself.
We need to get you out of here.
Yeah. Hey, I am really sorry about the whole drinking your blood, dark magic ritual thing. Really.
Apology accepted.
God, I can keep doing this.
Neither can I.
Where are my glasses?
I'm sure you'll have another pair.
They're both dead.
Kelly poisoned Sydney a couple days ago. And when he committed the murder, it caused a psychotic break, resulting in a split personality.
Kelly and Sydney became one.
In a manner of speaking, yes.
What happens now?
Evidence at the Institute will exonerate you in Allison Cohen's murder. You'll be released.
So I'm free.
Not right away, but soon.
Thank you, Miss Nelson.
Hey, Charles, I just have one question. If Kelly felt the beating Salucci gave you, how come you didn't know when Sydney was dead?
Because Sydney didn't die. He integrated with Kelly. Goodbye, Detective.
Catch you later, boys.